So much has happened since the Super Bowl was last in this part of the U.S. in the early 90s. The Rams and Chargers have both returned to L.A., and they've constructed this incredible new palace for football, SoFi Stadium in Inglewood. And it will be the scene tonight for Super Bowl 56. And what a matchup we have. Tonight, it's all on the line. We play for the Lombardi Trophy between the Los Angeles Rams taking on yet another NFC team, the San Francisco 49ers. After all the hype, it's finally time for football as we're underway in Super Bowl 56. From the end zone, here comes Brandon Powell. And he's able to get this across the 20, but not by much as he's marked down officially at the 21. So out come the Rams now for their first possession. They'll be led out by their quarterback in his 13th NFL season now. It's Matthew Stafford.
And he comes in off of a tremendous game in the NFC Championship round 2 weeks ago. This has been a team all season long that's really taken their identity from their quarterback, and he's been very vocal in the days leading up to this game that he believes that this is their time, and he's going to do all he can to will them to a Super Bowl win.
And let's pin the mirrors back and go full strength. 54's Mike.
A little jet sweep to start the drive. And he'll hope that this is not a sign of what's in store as he has to fight just to get back to the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain on the game's first play. And it's second down now. Defensively, they had that one pretty well figured out.
Yeah, and one of the things about this play, it can be even more effective when you run a lot of motion and there's plenty of times you don't hand it off.
Stafford. He'll get this one to Cup, complete. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a third down.
One thing we do know, he's going to get his catches. So as they move forward defensively, got to continue to focus on not giving up the big play when he does catch the ball in the secondary.
Third play here, this opening drive as they're up against a 3rd and 5. To throw is Stafford. That'll be caught. It's Cup. And he is going to have a Rams first down as they're able to get the third down conversion. And he's already got 2 catches on the opening drive. They know he's going to be a handful.
And sometimes you want to make sure that guy touches the ball, and sometimes it just happens naturally. And then you change your game plan. When he has the hot hand, you keep going back to him because he's running routes with confidence as the game goes on.
Now inside and complete to Jefferson.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates missing.
All right, everybody. Good afternoon or morning, depending on where you're at. But welcome to Talk About Sports episode 11. Kind of crazy we're up to 11 episodes already, but we will we'll wait a few more minutes and see if some others jump into Discord, and then we will dive right in. So we'll just wait a couple more minutes, everybody.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Now a run with Akers. No dice this go around. He's hit behind the line and taken down. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
When coaches stress their defense being physical, they don't just mean the big guys. How about the guys in there? There's some cornerbacks. It's not just their job to patrol the airspace. They can get involved in the run game as well.
So the first down run lost a couple. Now they come up 2nd and 12. Stafford. That's out to the flat for Akers. Akers hit. He coughs it up. And this is going to be 49er football. Out comes the San Francisco offense as they are led out by their quarterback, the man known as Jimmy G. That's Jimmy Garoppolo.
And he comes in off of a tremendous game in the NFC Championship round 2 weeks ago. This has been a team all season long that's really taken their identity from their quarterback, and he's been very vocal in the days leading up to this game that he believes that this is their time.
And now before the ball changes hands, they're going to take a look at this just to make sure that they have it right. And the question, was the knee in fact down before this ball comes loose? And is the video convincing enough to overturn it?
A lot of factors here. Remember, you also need clear possession of the football afterwards. This is a tough one to overturn.
So that challenge, a successful one. So possession still theirs, but now they face a 3rd down.
Hey, monkey, what's going on, buddy? Hey, monkey, what's going on, buddy? Oh, shit. Forgot I had my phone still on. Oops.
5 yards, not enough. And it'll be 4th down.
You can make this one pretty simple. Walk the ball as progressions downfield.
How are you doing today, monkey?
Ran to the football and knocked it down. It's 4th down.
Oh, you're fine, monkey. No worries at all, brother. So I think we're gonna end up moving one of the questions that I have for this week as the last one, because I'm pretty sure that one's gonna take up some time. Heartless, what's going on, bestie? Thanks for popping in. I appreciate it.
So as it turns out, a 2-play drive resulting in the field goal. So they recovered the fumble, but ultimately could not take advantage of a short field.
Definitely a lost opportunity right there. I mean, they were in a great position with a 6 on the board. Ended up settling for 3.
Oh, you passed your exam. Awesome. Congrats. just playing some Rogue. Nothing wrong with that. I might jump on that a little later myself, to be honest. Excuse me. All right. We're going to go ahead and get started here. So the first question I have is the Super Bowl winner and what the score will be. So in case anybody doesn't know, the Super Bowl is the Rams and the Bengals. I'm actually going to pick the Bengals. They've looked really good the last few weeks. Monkey says Bengals by 3. I could. Big Bad. Thanks for coming in, buddy. Score is that you'll be drunk. Yeah. I don't know if I'll be drunk, but I am actually kind of. I'm looking forward to the halftime show. Just to be honest, I think the halftime show is going to be phenomenal. But I'm going to pick the Bengals, and I'm going to say Bengals by 10. But I think it's going to be a pretty low scoring game. So I'm going to go 28 or no, 27-17 is going to be my score. Right on, Big Bad. Monkey, I know you'll be watching from the UK. Yeah, I don't really care for either team myself, but I find myself wanting to root for the Bengals just because they've never won one. So I like seeing the teams that haven't gotten a win before get one, as far as in the Super Bowl. I was actually there for a while last weekend. Was actually looking forward to seeing if the 49ers would get in, because the Super Bowl this year would have been a rematch from, I think it was 1989. But that didn't happen. But I'm going to root for. I'll be rooting for the Bengals. See if they can get their first one. But I really don't care. You were kind of hoping for the Chiefs Bucks for one last Mahomes and Brady. Yeah, that would have been kind of cool. Send Brady out on a. Well, hopefully it would have been send him out in a Super Bowl loss, but even so, I think I think it's going to be a good game. At least that's my hope, anyway. All right, next question. So my reason is that the owner of the Rams also owns my soccer club. He's dreadful, and I want him to suffer. Hey, if that's your reasoning, go for it, monkey. Like, you do you, but I mean, I can totally get behind that. I'm sure I would feel the same way if somebody, an owner of a team I didn't like owned another one. Wouldn't necessarily root for them either. So yeah, I completely get it. All right, the next question I got here is, what do you think of the new name for Washington? So they finally have an official name now. They're not going to be called the Washington football team anymore. They are going to be called the Washington Commanders. It wasn't what I was expecting the name to be, but I mean, at this point, I will certainly take anything over somebody called the football team. So the fact that they actually have a team name now instead of some generic shit, I'm okay with it. Apparently, they're not really changing a whole lot. Like, their logo really isn't going to be changing. It's still going to be a W on the side of their helmet. But I guess, like, the front of the jersey is going to say Commanders on it instead of Washington. I don't know. But it tried to block your comment there, Monkey, because you used the word Redskins. Yeah, there was a few names I thought that they would go with. The one I was really picking was there was a selection for their team name being in something in reference to the a group in the military from like World War II, I think, or it was one of the wars, but I don't remember what the name was. But I thought that would have been cool, shit, show, take homage to that particular group. It sounds like a cartoon show. You can't be history. They should have stuck with the Redskins. Yeah, I agree. Unfortunately, the term Redskins was considered a derogatory term to Native Americans. However, no Native Americans really ever complained about it, so I'm not exactly sure where they got their information from. Might as well call them Captain America. Fair point. Fair point. Yeah, the constant name changes for teams is getting ridiculous. Like, none of it is supposed to be taken as, we're I don't know. The Redskins one I didn't think needed to be changed, but it's whatever. Pansies, a lot of them are. I mean, I really don't care. I can't stand Washington anyway because of them being, the rival to my team. So, I can't really say much because I could give two shits what their name is. I just can't stand them. But I mean, they're going to change Washington's name, but we also have my college team, which is the Sooners, and it wasn't like they were the greatest of people, but no one seems to care that what their team name is. But it is what it is. It's whatever. All right. Next one is, do quarterbacks get too much protection? This one basically has to do with the amount of penalties that can be called against the defense because of various things being, how you hit the quarterback or, whatever the case may be. I think there is too much. I mean, at the point that you get called you get called for roughing the passer. If you tackle them and you land on top of them, what? Agreed, monkey. Agreed. Really? You tackle someone and you're supposed to somehow manage to turn yourself in midair so that you don't land on them, because otherwise you're going to be called for a penalty. If you tackle them too low, it's a penalty. I mean, it's ridiculous. In football practice, the quarterback wears a red jersey during practice to indicate, hey, that's the quarterback. We don't want to hurt him in practice. Don't touch him. At the point where you have all these rules, they might as well give the quarterbacks a red jersey for the games, because you really can't touch him without getting a penalty. Yeah, I understand they get paid the big bucks for a reason, but come on. Like, if I was to play football now the way I did when I was in school, I would get penalized every single time, because the rules have changed just so much that I would be constantly getting penalized on like every single play. They are, but they still aren't. Because, if they leave the pocket, yes, at that point they are considered a runner, but there still is some protections on them because they are the quarterback. I'm sorry. If I hit a running back the same way I hit a quarterback, I'm going to get penalized for hitting the one and not the other the same way. I have an issue with that, especially if you're outside the pocket. If you're scrambling, all bets are off at that point. Like, if you can't take a hit, don't run. I mean, if you can't take a hit, you shouldn't be playing the game anyway, but that's another discussion for another day. Yeah, I get that. Um, it's definitely become a time period of everybody gets a trophy type thing, and it drives me nuts. My stepdaughter was part of a youth football program. She was the cheerleader for a football team, and it ranges from like the age of 5 up to like 12, I think, 12 or 13 in this league or whatever. But for the 5-year-old group playing football, they don't keep score. That bothers me. If you are playing a sport, there should be score kept. It's a competitive sport. If you don't have score, how are you making it competitive? Yes, I understand you want to teach them, but you can teach them while also keeping score. In the game of football, there has to be a winner and a loser. That's just the way it works. Heartless, you agree? I also, yeah. luckily, I have raised my son that, to not be like that. Like, I constantly have to tell him all the time. I'm like, look, he was playing a game the other day and he kept getting pissed off at the game because he kept losing. Or as soon as he would lose, he would start the match over because he was playing the WWE game that I have. And every time he would lose, he would end up restarting the match and trying it again. I'm like, would you stop and just play the game? But I lost. Yeah. That comes with the territory, son. You can't always win. He didn't like that response, got mad at me, but then did what I told him to do. Yeah, a lot of sports have become very non-competitive, and it drives me nuts, especially when it's supposed to be a competitive game. That'd be like not keeping track of who, that'd be like having boxers in the ring and letting them beat the shit out of each other, but never telling them who won. Like, what? That doesn't work. Sports equals beating your opponents. Absolutely. Agree 100%. All right. So the next one is the one I purposely made last because I'm sure this one's going to take a while to get through. But it is, what do you think about the latest class action lawsuit against the NFL and then the subsequent lawsuits against the Dolphins, Giants, and Broncos? Um, so if you haven't seen, like, I don't know if they would have talked about it in the UK or not, Monkey, but a former coach of the Dolphins has, as of Tuesday, filed a class action lawsuit against the NFL and then is also suing the Dolphins, the Giants, and the Broncos. Basically, what is happening is he is suing them because of the fact that he was told by the Dolphins owner that he was to purposely lose games, and if he did so, would get a paycheck of $100,000 to lose games on purpose. Agreed, Big Bad. Absolutely agreed. Um, his issue with the Giants was he had a interview for the head coaching position there, but ended up finding out that they had already made the decision on who their coach was going to be before they did his interview. So they basically did his interview just to do the interview because there is a rule in place in the NFL that all NFL teams are required to interview at least one or two African American people for a head coaching position. So the Giants, to basically cover their ass, interviewed him for the head coaching position with the fact that they had already made their decision on who their coach was going to be for next season. If it all comes out true, then I agree. Back to Big Bad's point. If the allegations are true, absolutely people need to be punished. The whole reason that the owner was asking him to lose games was so they could get so that they could have a better draft pick selection. Because in the NFL, if you have the worst record, you have the first pick in the NFL draft. Honestly, my thought is if it comes out to be true that this owner for the Dolphins, and now this latest one that I heard today about the Browns were doing the same shit with Hugh Jackson, if it comes out that both of those owners actually did what we're being told they did, both owners need to be removed as owners. Obviously, I think a fine should come with it, but they should also be removed as owners of those particular teams. Um, yeah, I'm not sure. To your question, Monkey, the one that's doing the lawsuit right now did not accept the payments for it, and basically kept playing the way he was supposed to be. Kept coaching the way he wanted to coach, and they kept winning games. That particular season, they ended up having a winning record, and were, I want to say, like second in their division that particular year. So, he went against what the owner wanted him to do, which then pissed off the owner, which ultimately led to him getting fired as head coach. But the other issue I have is the coach isn't. No, the coach wasn't part of the conspiracy. He basically went against what they wanted him to do. Yeah, the owner was like, "Hey, do this. I want you to do this." And the coach was like, "No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to keep winning games because that's the way I'm not going to tank a game just because I want that extra $100,000." He didn't take the payment. He didn't lose any games on purpose. None of that. He went against what the owner wanted him to do. I don't know why it's taken this long for it to come forward. Because the Dolphin situation was like 2 years ago. The other issue I have with the NFL is, so they're all about making sure that, we're taking the right steps to, make sure that there's equality in the sport and blah, blah, blah. So we have players. So in the NFL, there's 32 teams. Each team has a roster of 53 people. Out of all of those people, 60 to 70% of them are African American, which is awesome, cool, great. However, out of all of those teams, there is one head coach that is African American. And as far as like assistant coaches and coordinators and that kinds of stuff, there's only, I think, 5. There's a problem there. So they put this rule in place that requires the owners of their team to interview 1 or 2 African American people for a head coaching position. At the point that you have to have that rule in place, that's That's a problem in itself. You shouldn't have to put a rule in place for people to do the right thing. Unfortunately, in this world, that obviously a rule has to be put in place because otherwise people don't fucking do it. Um, there's a lot of issues. The one thing that I did hear the other day was, against the NFL was they are putting more time and effort into deflated footballs than figuring out why there is not as many minority figures as far as coaches are concerned in their organization. Anybody else got any comments to that? You're peeling potatoes. Fair enough, monkey. If nobody else has anything, we can move on to the open discussion segment. So if there's any topics that anybody would like to bring up, you are more than welcome to do so, and we will talk about it. You're eating potato chips. Fair enough. Well, if we're talking about what we're eating and whatever, I'm not eating anything, just so we're clear. Although I did have pierogies last night for dinner, so that had potatoes in it. I don't know if anybody knows what pierogies are, but they're amazing. It's essentially a ravioli with mashed potatoes instead of a meat substance in the middle of it. But they are so good. I don't think I have found a flavor of those that I don't like yet. Because there's multiple different kinds or whatever. They're so good though. Anybody got any topics? Excuse me. Rate my belch from 1 to 10. Yeah, I would have gave it. Well, see, you're too kind, Big Bad. That wasn't even a good one. I've had some good ones while being outside here recently. 11 o'clock at night, and I'm making the shit fucking echo outside. You think it's awesome. I think it's awesome. My wife completely begs to differ. I get yelled at every time. We all ready for the Winter Olympics to start? Disturbing the peace. That would be some shit, though. Some don't, Monkey. Some don't. There are some that do understand. I clarified, Heartless. Some don't understand. Not all. There's just some that don't understand. There are many others that do understand. Agreed. Agreed, Big Bad. Absolutely. Tomboys, lol. I mean, I've met a few women that weren't exactly tomboys, but they weren't exactly tomboys, but they could definitely hold their own when it came to a belch. Let me tell you. Oh, Heartless is getting feisty. Bring it. I don't know. She may want to throw down in Rogue now, Monkey. Oh, it calls for an in-person throwdown. Okay. So it's like legit serious then. Shake, shake. Monkey, you just gave me a mental image of you standing by the stove, shaking your ass. Legit. I mean, not particularly. Not particularly a fan of dudes shaking their ass. Doesn't make it any less funny. It's just not my idea of something I want to watch. Although you do that, and you're gonna make Heartless yell. Hitting fucking buttons on my computer and shit.
You know that old expression, it's not my night? It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
Every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that.
It was funny, Heartless. But I said it out of love.
Defensively, we always know that he is tough and runs.
Touche, monkey, touche.
Scouting prior to the game and reading the actors and taking the right path to the ball carrier.
Able to haul it in is Kittle. And he is brought down, but not before reaching the 30.
They brought in a heavy set on third down, and that usually means running play, but we have seen him throw out of that formation. They snuck the tight end out on that one, wound up hitting him for a first down.
Yes, I did. See? Even Tiger Hearts to prove it.
They've given up a few first downs on this drive, but getting the incompletion there, that should give them something to build on and maybe turn the tide.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. And to give this time to the tailback. 41 yards on the ground.
Tiger Hearts don't make it better. Tigers make everything better because they're amazing.
Nice run on second and 10. Garoppolo was expecting him to throw the football. Now, if you're the defense, and we get a play or two on third down, you're a little off balance.
7th play of the drive now as they come up on a 3rd and 3. A shotgun snap for Garoppolo. Throwing the out route incomplete. It's Jennings. And he's out of bounds. Almost gets to the 10.
I love the drive they're working on here because they know they can take the lead with a touchdown. And so far on this drive, so good.
You beg to differ.
Very little resistance defensively.
Well, I guess we're going to agree to disagree then. Not as amazing as monkeys.
He'll dump that one off to Mitchell. Down to the 6-yard line on a pickup of 6 as he gets halfway to the goal line. Has already proven to be a factor in the running game on this drive. Now he gets involved in the passing game.
I think what we're seeing here is the modern version of workhorse in the NFL, being able to run it and catch it with equal proficiency.
On 2nd down now, it's Mitchell. And a minuscule gain of maybe a yard from the 6 to the 5.
Well, when you go from 2nd and 4 to 3rd and 3, that just tells you who won that battle on the last play, huh?
Yeah, first round went to the offense, second round the defense.
Maybe not full-grown tigers, but tiger cubs are pretty fucking cute and amazing. Who's winning the Rogue League? My bet is going to be probably Aqua.
Makes me think of my old college teammate, Reggie White. He had 3 with Green Bay Packers.
Would be my guess.
Darnell Dockett of Arizona, Super Bowl 43.
It's a sports question.
3 sacks for the Panthers.
I mean, kind of.
In Super Bowl, but
Although sacks, they've only been an official record since Super Bowl 17. I know it's believed that L.C. Greenwood unofficially had 4 way back in
So top three. Oh God. Oof. I'm right there with you, Heartless. I could see that. Yeah, I might have to agree with your top three there, bud. I would probably have it Aqua, J Doggles, then Rude Boy, but I would. It wouldn't shock me with any of those three. And I think Frenchie, you and Frenchie would be like right there behind him. You and me both, Heartless. I don't see me making it past the first week either. I have a very good feeling I'm going to get slaughtered. So, there'll be sympathy points, at least for me anyway. They'll feel bad. So they'll let me get one. I mean, I don't either. But if they give me one, I'll take it because it's not like I'm going to get many more after that. Oh, I'm right there with you. It would probably piss me. I mean, there's no probably about it. It would piss me off too. Depends on who you get on the in the first game. No spoilers. I'm not even sure I want to know who I got right off the bat. Not gonna lie. A little scared. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was talking about Rogue Heartless. But he doesn't want you to give any spoilers. Oh shit. Well, we might see Mitch stream again. Oh, I was saying we might see him tonight, unless you kill him before then.
So coming on now is the field goal unit. They're going to try for three, and he'll need all the leg he's got here. So this will be spotted on the midfield logo. It's a 58-yard attempt. And this one is no good. He missed it. And we will remain tied here in this third quarter.
All right, everybody. I thank you for coming in, but we are going to raid out. We're going to raid that Savage Among You. So if you guys don't follow him, please, please, please give him a follow. I believe I saw that. I think I saw the Asian one post that he's trying to get to affiliate. So let's show him some taco love, show him some support, and I will talk at y'all later.
Garoppolo going to bring the Niners up here 1st and 10, just shy of midfield at the 48. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30.